This confrontation with untruth that we are witnessing here for the next 3-4 months is not the end of the world, guys. It is something that is needed for us as a collective to understand that the ego mind alone and that materialism, where we just see ourselves as a body, machine-like, that is what needs to be healed. Yes, and we need this confrontation with untruth to finally be willing and have the courage to make changes, because, and you know this, good intentions and knowledge is not enough. Our ego functions on a paradigm based on avoiding pain and seeking pleasure, and it isn't until the pain of where we're at becomes greater than the fear of the unknown that we are willing to sacrifice pleasure. Welcome back to the energy update for week 38, that is for September 11th till the 17th of 2021. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy healer, energy coach, and energy therapist, accompanying you in the deeper look into collective energies for this next coming week. And we always start out with a little reflection, on what you, dear audience, energetically sensitives or empaths or highly sensitive people, what you are feeling right now. What are some of these energies that you are picking up on? Maybe in your own body, in your own mind, through your own energetic perception or your precognitive abilities, or through other people, maybe through traffic or the grocery store. What are you picking up on? How is all of this currently translating for you? Who wants to share? Please type into the chat here, the live chat. What are some of these things that you guys are picking up on? We've had a very powerful new moon, brought in a very, very strong shift in energies. By the way, there's an energy forecast for the month of September if you are interested. You can always go back to the forecast. From what I am picking up on, working with people from all over the world, there is a strong, yes, Cheryl, you call it redemption. There is a strong feeling of needing to reconcile something. And sometimes it comes to us as recognizing the need to know answers, to have solutions, to figure out what to do. So in times like this that are so intense and so transformative, I dare to say one of the most, if not the most interesting time here for humanity. Yeah, and by the way, take a moment to appreciate the courage of your own soul self to wanting to incarnate into this time, knowing that these times would come. But what it is, that needs to be figured out right now, that is what many of us feeling. We need to reconcile what we thought what would be, or how it always was, or how we used to do things, with how we might have to do things, how we might have to accept change in the near future, in real time, as a matter of fact. And there is a huge sort of momentum that is starting now that will move all of us. Cheryl, you call it redemption. Most people will call it frustration, fear, or disappointment, or even more negative, no hope, or doom and gloom. Can you elaborate here what you understand as redemption, Cheryl, just so that I don't put any words into your mouth or your words, and please everybody chime in. Annette is sharing, it takes a lot of awareness to not go low. To not go low in energy this week. Yeah. What does this mean? It means that it takes a conscious self, a conscious energy manager to withstand all these outer things that we are picking up on, that are coming in just due to the fact that whatever is going on here is literally global, right? So it takes someone to be fully present in the now, to make good decisions for the future. Cheryl is responding, redemption means self-forgiveness in simple terms. I like that. Self-forgiveness. What do we need to forgive ourselves for, guys? What is there that stands in the way of us being able to deal with these shifts and changes in a way that we can manifest the highest expression of ourselves, the purpose, the promise to our soul self that we wanted to fulfill? What needs to be forgiven for? So the energies here for this next week, they're actually bringing in a lot of these kind of contemplations. And my tip for you for next week is to take a step back, to allow space for new solutions to come in, to really focus on your internal connection. We have been going through a lot in these last year and a half, and you can see this on my output. I started out with forecasts and weekly forecasts, then energy talk and energy update on a weekly basis, and now I'm in daily videos. Okay, why is that? Because we need to really know when we are aware and when we are asleep. Because when we are asleep, it is very easy to be pulled into these collective momentums. And what is hard to see for us when we go through a challenge, through, the fire of redemption, if you will, is that it's actually leading us to healing. It's leading us to an upgraded version of ourselves, a more mature, a more aware, a more conscious version of ourselves. And our task is to manage that, to keep that in balance and not to force it, because we can't force things. Things in the future are unknown, and therefore all we can do is to continually align ourselves to the higher expression, to the higher vibe, if you will, to the serenity, the better understanding of what needs to be looked at, what needs to be changed, what needs to be healed, what needs to be transformed. And if one can maintain that, which comes with a certain level of surrender, we have to really let go of all these thoughts, these critical inner voices and the negative voices that keep telling us that everything is no hope, no faith, no nothing, and that it's not worth it and better to check out or go into fantasy land, to keep a handle on that without being too controlling. Yes, redemption also means to forgive ourselves for maybe all these naive hopes and dreams that we had that were fantastical sometimes. So when regrets come in, it can mean that we, maybe weren't as conscious in the past, and we realize now, like this feeling when you get hit by a reality check, how unaware we were. And sometimes the choices that we make when we are unaware They do not match up with our higher expressions anymore. They do not match up with who we are today. So we've got to come to terms with that which we want, that which we need because of who we are. Yeah, always evolves. I need this, I want this, because this is who I am now. And it is that fire that forged that, which is why we don't actually need to further energize regrets, because we couldn't see it before, we couldn't feel it before. So we need to forgive ourselves for basically judging ourselves or beating ourselves up for not having been able to see things before. And this is where our ego mind and this duality comes in that we all experience as humans. Our ego mind cannot transcend itself. Guys, it cannot get past itself. So if we live our life in an unconscious way, where we're not consciously self-reporting that we are awake, yeah? Hey, I'm here and now, right now. That is the moment when you are awake and aware, because you are reporting this to yourself. And everything else, the robotic stuff that you do throughout the day, the autopilot, that's all just your ego kind of tagging along. And tagging along always means that you're more susceptible to the streams and currents, the weather conditions around you. We are now experiencing extreme weather changes, extreme weather conditions, and if you want to be the rock in the shore, you need to be able to pierce through that. You need to be able to let go of your ego mind, understanding that your ego mind has a purpose, but it is not well suited to lead you to higher expressions or higher vibratory solutions. Yes, awareness, worry, hindsight is an ego indulgence. It's an ego trap. It really is. Yeah. The only thing we can learn from hindsight is patterns and patternings in our behavior. Yeah, it can help us to see, oh my God, this has been weaving through my life. I've always just, as an example, done the things that everybody else wanted me to do, or I've always done the things that I was told to be doing, or I've always put myself last. Yeah, I sacrificed myself. Yeah, I thought love was supposed to be with the sacrifice, basically sacrificing myself. That will be a huge big theme here in this next week. We really need to balance what we feel as what we need and we want based on now, okay, and what we want to give and what we want to share. Mutual reception is sort of the overall astrological theme, and the energies that come with that have to do with so many aspects in ourselves. Our mind versus our heart, masculine versus our feminine energies, higher awareness versus our ego mind, physical pleasures versus our better intention. You see, those are the dualities that are in all of us humans. And right now, in order to evolve, we need to learn how to do this, how to balance this, how to forgive ourselves for not being in balance in the past, and make a conscious effort. We cannot expect from ourselves to have this all figured out already. How can we? Every experience is an important learning experience. But we could look back in our life and see which decisions or which themes or patterns have actually led to unhealthy situations in our life. Things that were conducive for, like, say, toxic relationships or addictions or, poverty on some levels. yeah, like lack or struggle or tragedy. Hindsight is only good for that. It's good for a moment as a mental exercise to recognize patterns. But when it comes to looking forward, to going into your future awareness, it requires you to let that go and to be here in the now and align your energy to that which you want to change. You need to make it so as if you are already there. That is how we energize things. Those are sort of fundamental lessons of energy management and energy awareness. And one of the biggest issues that we all have is that our mind, if we only rely on our mind for this process, can only go by what it has experienced in the past or by what it fears the most. And so it can block higher vibratory solutions. Yeah? If you are a person who has experienced a lot of pain in your life, then your future awareness, if you don't know how to bypass that, if you don't know, or not bypass, but balance this out right with your higher consciousness, will always project a future with more pain. Yeah? Or if you've experienced lack throughout your life, your ego mind will not be able to imagine something, a life, say, without lack. And that's why it's really important to dive a little deeper into energy management, because we have to learn how to be really precise and really pragmatic with our energy, our daily energy awareness. Yeah, to really catch those negative thoughts, to catch our ego mind projecting into the future what you've experienced in the past, or to unconsciously energize, re-energize the same old, or to unconsciously produce a future awareness that is fearful, that forces you into this fight, flight, or freeze. So next week, guys, is a week where it's best to stay very awake and aware as many times, remind yourself as many times as you can a day, because there's going to be a lot coming down. It's the big reveal this next week, and the escalation phase to something even more intense, maybe in 2 weeks' time, and leading up all the way to the end of the year. This week is very important for your inner alignment. You lean back, you let it all happen, you observe it, but you discipline yourself to not get sucked or pulled into it. It's very, very important. Take this week to relax into your own needs. Yeah, all these outer things, they're going to happen with or without you. What is more important right now is that you know what it is that you need, that you want, what is healthy for you, what you need to do, the next steps, and not just hopes and dreams, guys. Very pragmatic steps. This is a week of getting ready, preparing, forming a strategy, forming a business plan. It's a wonderful week to form a business plan. Many of you might be put into a situation at work where you have to make a decision all of a sudden due to new regulations in your country. This might be the time where you finally had enough and you realize that all you've ever wanted really is to have your own business and start a new business. I have a individualized energy business training now that you can book with me, where I guide you through the process of actually starting your own business here in this sort of healing related marketplace, I have an energy awareness course that comes out next weekend that guides you through the secrets of energy awareness and energy management. I want to say that there is no such course out there anywhere in the world. This requires someone who really knows and sees energy. I have studied energies systematically, and I have been teaching them in systematic ways. Yeah? Anybody can learn energy awareness for 2 decades now, guys. Yeah, these tools are available here, and if you need a therapist, if you need a coach to help you with, then recognize that this time of, say, preparedness, as I called this, is a good time to find a mentor or a coach who can help you with these transitions that you want to make. Yeah? It's very important now to look forward, yeah, into the future, which is why I picked the future awareness alignment for us, so that we have the opportunity to really feel into the now. You will hear my voice saying this over and over again, that it is in the now that you determine your future. And it is totally okay to do this in this sort of almost mantra way. Yeah, so we will step into this inner experience of our future awareness here in a few minutes. I just wanted to say a few more things about next week and some of the collective things that we might be experiencing depending on where we're at in this world. There is this overall notion of redemption and disappointment that you guys have already identified, and it will really bring something to the forefront here that I have been talking about for years and years. If you go to my website and type in global shadow or bifurcation or confrontation with untruths, all right, these are the keywords here. There is a massive confrontation with all these untruths that we have been going through here in these past 20, 30 years, and we have gotten to the point where all that is being revealed. Yeah, this reveal of information, be it in regards to the Kennedy assassination or September 11th or even Corona, the origin of the coronavirus and things like that, will all need to be or have to be revealed so that they can be healed. And this week is this big reveal turning point. So this will continue here throughout the end of the year, actually the beginning of next year. And we all need to catch up with this. We need to integrate all of this. So many things that we have been told will suddenly feel like, wow, you know, I couldn't see this before, or why didn't they tell us before? All right, and here you can see why we need this self-forgiveness and like sort of a concept for dealing with regrets, yeah, and hindsight, to not lower our energy even more. Yeah, this isn't your fault. You couldn't see what you couldn't see before, but this also reminds you that you have to be more conscious, more aware to see more. Yeah? Not necessarily to do more. So many of you will get pulled into this, I need to do more, I need to be harder, I need to... Not next week, guys. Next week, allow things to integrate, allow yourself to feel. Meditate at least 20 minutes every day. Yeah? If not twice a day. Or go into these 5-minute mini alignments that you can all download from my SoundCloud account to recalibrate yourself, to recalibrate your connection with your higher self and higher power. Yeah? Allow all this power struggle that you are observing in the world to go on without you. Do not get pulled into this, because if you allow yourself to get pulled into this, and it's really, really hard. I had a moment yesterday evening after our president spoke publicly where I really needed to consciously balance myself. I needed to breathe, and I needed to actually talk to someone, yeah, to just integrate what all this means. Yeah. The long-term development and evolutionary path that is revealing now is actually that of a more conscious, a more free, and a more truth-based society. But we are going through the contractions and the early onset of birthing pains right now, okay? This confrontation with untruth that we are witnessing here for the next 3-4 months is not the end of the world, guys. It is something that is needed for us as a collective to understand that the ego mind alone, and that materialism, yeah, where we just see ourselves as a body, machine-like, that is what needs to be healed. Yes, and we need this confrontation with untruth to finally be willing and have the courage to make changes, because, and you know this, good intentions and knowledge is not enough. Our ego functions on a paradigm based on avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. And it isn't until the pain of where we're at becomes greater than the fear of the unknown that we are willing to sacrifice pleasure. Because otherwise we won't survive it. It is the rock bottom theory, right? That the most healing thing that can happen to a human that is focused, or who is focused on his or her ego mind, is rock bottom. Okay, so see the opportunity in this healing crisis. If you live in Australia, if you live in Germany, if you live in Canada, you will experience things that you haven't seen before. And this will slowly build here over this next week, but it is already in motion. Yeah? Financial markets, expect them to be volatile. Yeah? Expect them to trying to place themselves now with these changed conditions. The conditions on our planet have changed as of these past weeks, guys. So get ready, okay, to really work with this and to forgive yourself for not seeing things earlier or for not trusting in your inner guidance. But most and foremost, do not give your power of free thinking, of freely choosing, yeah, what is healthy for you and what is conducive for life. Don't give that away. Don't externalize that. So with that, I would like to conclude the energy update for this next week and go into the inner experience of what it is that we need to focus on to get through this. On your screen, you will see the energy prayer we've developed in the 12 days of sacred self, the 12 days leading into 2021. Isn't this interesting? That's where we developed this as a small community, and today we need this energy alignment that we, well, literally wrote in the January days of this new year. Rest in the stillness of your heart. That's basically it, guys. What I recommend you to focus on for this next week as my energy tip for you for week 38, so that you can feel the synchronicity of purpose, so that you can feel your sacred heart, or in your sacred heart, what it is that you need to hear, what it is that needs to be revealed, so you know what needs to be healed. Yes, there was a very strong expansion here in this 20-minute experience, inner experience. Did you guys realize how, even though it was 4 times the same alignment, how there was a different phrase or a different word that came forward for you as something that your inner self kind of latched onto? Yes, Awareness Warrior shares, I feel like I don't need to justify everything to everyone, correct? Yeah. In that, it was a really interesting experience, even for myself. These energy alignments, guys, that you can download for free, don't forget, in the 12 days of Sacred Self, and I have been doing this for the past years, every year, the years between Christmas and New Year's. In these 12 energy prayers or energy alignments that we as a community develop there online in our live meditations, those are our antidotes for the year. Those are our medicine. Those are our synchronicities that remind us of who we are and why we're here. Wonderful. Any remarks, anything that you would like to add here? Yes, thank yous are always good. Please share the links, guys. It's really simple. People just have to follow the YouTube channel, and then they get notifications or even emails if you click on the bell button. These energy alignments that I just talked about, you can download them on SoundCloud. Yeah, and yeah, you can work with me directly if you need someone guiding you through this time of transition. Maybe you need someone who helps you to develop a strategy on how to turn your calling to wanting to help others into a business, or maybe you want to leave your job or your relationship, or you need a strategy for simply managing your energies better, or for managing health scares better. All right, then send me an email, ask for an initial energy coaching consult, and check my website for these wonderful programs that I have that are typically anywhere from monthly, 3 months, 6 months, or yearly, because these transformation processes are not one-time sessions. Thank you, everyone. Bless you. Have a wonderful next week, and see you tomorrow for the energy prayer again.